Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I get to learn what 10 things there are that Katie cannot live without. And she is going to do the same. She's going to learn the same thing about me. She's going to learn which items I consider to be essential to my happiness and well-being here on Earth. And guess what? You get to hear what those items are as well. You're in on this conversation. And folks, let me tell you, I'm grateful for each and every one of you. And for, especially as of late, we've been able to meet more of our listeners in person. And Katie, we were literally saying this, an hour ago to some people that we know, how blessed we are by the, I guess, like-minded families that we get to meet throughout the country when we're traveling, and people that those of you that introduce yourself to us and let us know that you listen to the podcast. We're inspired by you, like the caliber of families and of couples. You know, the way you're raising your children, the way you're being intentional in your marriage and investing into your communities really is inspiring to us. And so thank you to those of you that, you know, have introduced yourself and said hi and encouraged us in what we're doing. We love what we're doing, so the fact that it encourages others is just a blessing, and it's humbling, so thank you. And for those of you that haven't been able to leave a rating or a review on iTunes or Spotify, we would love it if you're able to do that, because that's what helps this podcast reach more people. And honestly, just sharing it with friends. That's actually every time we meet people in person. Wow, here I go, on and on. Talk about the longest intro ever. I'm always blown away with how when we meet people in person, listen to the podcast, our podcast was recommended to them by a friend or a family member. And that really seems to be the way that this podcast has grown very, very organically. So thank you to those of you that share it with friends and family. And yeah, okay, that's all. We'll get this thing rolling.
The Now That We're a Family podcast.
Okay, Elisha, so when you said let's do the top 10 things we can't live without, well, my first thought was like you. But then that wasn't a thing, really. It's like a person.
God, yeah. I feel like items. I think, did I say items?
Well, items. Well, yeah, I knew that's not what you were talking about. So even though you came to mind, it was like, I know I can't do that. But then I started going down the list, and I was like, you know, there's a lot of, like, I don't know what I can't do without, because I might have put like a razor on there, or like shampoo or warm water.
But you didn't?
No, because, I mean, we go a long time without those things.
That is true. It is funny that we're doing, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really like challenged my view of what I can't live without right now.
Yeah, this is probably a bit of a different, the list is going to be slightly different than it would have been 2 months ago.
Dramatically different. Are you kidding?
Since moving out
dramatically different
to the property. Actually, mine's not going to be that different now that I think about it.
Well, that's impressive.
Yeah. Anyways, should we jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so first one, and again, this might seem cliche or obvious or cheesy, but it's not. It's profound and it's meaningful to me. And that's the King James Holy Bible that was given to me by my mother on my 12th birthday. That's crazy. 21 years ago. It's got my name, you know, that's not engraved, but what is that?
I think that's what they call it.
They would call that engraved? Okay. My name's on this.
Or embossed, maybe? They say embossed.
This is, it's fallen apart a handful of times. I've had to glue back some of the pages. I've had to glue the whole binding back together a couple of times. And I'm not the kind of guy that underlines things in my own Bible. So you're not going to see like a lot of highlighted verses or underlined verses in here. But it's well worn. I mean, just the fact that, I think this is probably the longest standing item I own, which is kind of crazy to think about. That since I was 12 years old, I don't think I still have anything that's like a material item that I purchased at 12 or that was given to me at 12 years of age. And so, Katie, you and I know that Katie and I, you know, sorry, not you and I. Yeah, you and the other listener know. Those of you that have listened for a while know that Katie and I really love King James and the King James version of the Bible. We're not King James only people. We do read other, you know, we read the ESV quite often as well.
All roads lead.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
I feel like that's what it sounds like if you're KJV only.
We like literal translations.
Yeah, we do.
And the King James is less of a conviction for us and more of a preference, I would say, at this point.
It is the inspired word of God.
Yeah.
The inspired word of God. Definitely my favorite to read. I think because I grew up on it, and I do feel like one way that it's such a bummer we're so divided as Christians is you go to quote a passage of scripture together and everyone has a ton of different translations. So it's really comforting to me that my family, we just learned everything in King James, and Elisha learned much of what he's memorized in King James. You have some ESV in there.
Is that right?
Yeah, because every once in a while when we go to quote, we have like some word.
That must have started when I was like
Changes.
19 or 20, because
Yeah.
I was King James only really until like all the way through high school.
I feel like it's the majority until,
Yeah.
you are a young adult or an older adult.
Yeah, I got kind of wild in my young adult
A
years.
little crazy.
Trying to discover myself. And
So
myself.
we are doing King James when it like within our home when it comes to our children and our scripture memory, and so it's really fun when we get together with like either our families or someone quotes a verse. You just like you're referencing the exact verbatim verse, which I really enjoy. So
that's my first item.
wow. Okay. Well, it's honestly really convicting that was your first item, because I feel like I should have scripture be a first item, actually even an item on my list. I put books down in general, but the Holy Bible is not just a book.
Yeah,
and
well, probably because you feel like you're washed in the Word so much by
my
me.
husband,
that-
see?
yeah.
Oh, man. No, but I will say, I do feel like my time in the Word has really been something I've allowed to be disrupted through this move. And I've been really inspired by the way that I continue to see you in the Word in the mornings, regardless of how the morning's going, or in the afternoons or in the evening. And that's something that I want to have more. So,
Well, that's the power of habit stacking,
Yeah.
because I don't know if I necessarily, when we moved out here, you have new habits, you have new routines, but a habit that I was not going to drop was making coffee in the morning. And I've just linked reading the Bible with my morning coffee, regardless of what time it is, which is nice, that I
Yeah.
just have that anchor. And I wish it was the other way around, where it's like, oh, there's no way I'll miss reading the Bible. But I'm sure I probably would if it wasn't for that like habit stacking.
yeah, it's like
Those two
my
things.
stack with that is like getting up before the kids get up. That's not something I do currently. So that's a bad thing to stack the most important part of your day on. So anyways, okay, so the first thing I wrote down on my list was notebooks. Like journals, paper, specifically Bic pens.
Nice.
These ballpoint pens.
Yep.
They aren't too juicy and flow out too fast. They're just right. And they're super cheap, so I don't feel like a lot of people like them, but they're my favorite pen. And the reason why I say this is because I used up my notebook like 3 days ago, and I still have my journal, and I was just scrambling the past couple of days. Like I just felt so lost and frustrated. I'm just writing notes on scrap pieces of paper, and it's like I need somewhere to put my thoughts.
Yep.
And yesterday I went in and I got a new journal.
Yeah,
Or just
I like the way
notebook.
that looks too.
Thanks.
You've really found your, I think the right, like the format and the size, right? Like you like those, what do you call that binding, the hard binding there, and then, or the hard. what
Yeah,
is
I
that?
do like the hard binding.
Hard
I used to
binding,
get
and then-
spiral,
right.
but then those get jammed when you like put them in backpacks. They all
Yeah.
warp together and stuff.
Yes. And then you like the bigger pages too, because I've really come to like
do.
this. I don't know what this dimension
pages.
is here with this, but this is like the full
I
focus
think it's
journal.
like a 6x9.
You think that? Yeah. Okay. Maybe 5. I don't know.
Yeah,
But I
maybe
really
5x9.
like these dimensions. This really works for me. And sorry, I stole yours. Keep going.
No, you don't have to. You don't. That's what this is. We don't. Have
I
to
approve
steal
of your
each
item
other's.
because I think that's a great. I didn't put it down on my list, but after you said it, I was like, no joke. I don't sit down with my Bible without my notebook. Right?
Yeah.
I don't leave the house without my notebook. I'm keeping track of notes, phone numbers, especially since we're smartphone free. It really is kind of my external brain. And so that's huge for me.
Yeah.
The summer games are just around the corner, and there's no better way to show your support.
You got this, Katie. I believe in you.
Ooh, that was a really rough start for America than with a delicious meal made from 100% American meat. GoodRanchers.com is the #1 place to get gold medal quality meat that supports real American farms and speaks to the excellence of the USA. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
And right now, you might not be Simone Biles, but you can still go for the gold yourself by subscribing to Good Ranchers. They're giving all new subscribers a free gold medal add-on for the next 4 years. Good Ranchers does the biggest things.
Yeah.
Okay, you can enjoy a free plain chicken breast, Angus ground beef, Applewood bacon, or wild-caught salmon in every order for the next 4 years or until the next summer games. Plus, with our exclusive code, VOTEBERG, you'll get an additional $25 off your first box. That's up to over $1,200 in savings when you subscribe. Hopefully you guys have held out and not subscribed until now. Right. Use our code VOTEBERG at checkout to claim $25 off your first box, free express shipping, and your free add-on for 4 years. If you need any other reason to support Good Ranchers, they're not only amazing partners of our show, but they also support the paralyzed veterans of America too. Every order saves American farms and supports American veterans. If you're proud to be an American, then Good Ranchers is for you. Root for Team USA while enjoying the world's best meat that's born, raised, and made right here from local farms and ranches in the USA. Remember to use our code VOTEBERG to claim this summer game special and save big while supporting American farms. GoodRanchers.com. American meat.
Delivered. But real quick, is Simone, is that her name? Simone Biles?
Yeah.
Does she still compete?
She's back. She is. It's crazy because I feel like gymnasts used to peak at 16 years old.
Right.
And she's in her 20s, like not even her early 20s, I don't think.
Yeah, so this must be like her third Olympics or something?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and she's stronger than ever. She's doing crazy stuff.
Good for her. All right, folks, you know what to do.
Okay.
Back to me.
So far, so good.
Okay.
What would you say?
Well, I already mentioned it, so I'll just say it again. Coffee, and specifically speaking, okay, this French press is blowing my mind recently. So I grew up, I guess French press was our home method of making coffee. So I was used to that. And then my family bought coffee shops when I was 11. My dad bought a couple coffee shops, 11 or 12. And so I started making my coffee at the coffee shops, on the espresso machine. So that's when I really started enjoying espresso. And then we got married, and it was back to the French press, and I really enjoyed that again. And then up until about a year ago, I guess, I bought an espresso machine back at our other house. Obviously, we don't have that, or I don't know if it's obvious or not, but we don't have that out here on the property. And so I got another French press, but the technology has changed. Okay, because anybody that's a French press coffee drinker knows there's the sludge right at the end of your cup, and that's just a part. Some people really at different times I kind of enjoyed it and looked forward to the sludge, but I don't think it was a feature of the French press. I always thought it was a bit of a bug. However, dude, I didn't even realize this had this. I went and grabbed off the cuff when we were moving out here. I was like, I need a French press because I'm not bringing the espresso machine out here. So I just swung by a Starbucks, grabbed whatever French press they had on the shelf, and this thing is a double filter French press. I didn't know they made these. Okay, so there's a filter connected to the lid, and then there's the actual plunger filter right here. And so in my mind, you get the great taste that's the paper free. I don't like paper filters. I don't like tasting paper in my coffee. So you get the paper, free taste without the sludge. This French press has genuinely blown my mind because that, like I said, the sludge was always something that I just lived with. And I still preferred the French press taste over any, paper filters, any pour over or drip coffee machines. And so the fact that somebody was really thinking, I don't know how long this technology's been around. It's new to me. The double filter French press has really enhanced my quality of life.
Well, I'm so glad we're doing this because I had no clue that was anything special over there.
Yeah, well, you're not a coffee drinker, and so I haven't shared this with anybody. But each time I make my coffee and I see the two filters, I'm like, this is genius. How come I never had one of these before?
Yeah, I never understood there was sludge in the bottom of a cup.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I do think I always saw it there, actually. It would stick there. The dishwasher wouldn't clean it.
Right.
Our dishwasher really didn't clean anything.
That's a good point.
Okay. Wow. Well, that's cool, Elisha. So Elisha was telling me as we were getting ready to come out here for this episode, he's gathering up all of his items. Oh. And I was not prepared to gather up all of my items.
I don't think I gathered all of them, but the ones that were handy, I was like, may as well, for those watching on the video, can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm glad they did. Now they know what they're looking for with the double filter. Okay, so I would say my second one was books. I think books to me represent ideas, and they're my favorite way to consume ideas. I can interact with them, so I'm very unlike Elisha, in that I like to underline things. That's like how I think, is through interacting with the written word. And so underlining, I don't know where I just started disrespecting books like this. Well, I started considering it a form of respect, I should say, to bend all the pages and mark up the books.
Yeah, I'll say. I was reading two of your books last night, and boy, those things have been through. You sent those things through the ringer.
I know it's kind of bad, but I really like to go back. So I used to underline, right? Charlotte Mason is when I started doing this, because I would underline and then things would be so good. I'm underlining every single page of this book. I need to bend the pages that I really want to reference later. And I do this, if I'm talking about a book with Elisha or with a friend or something, I flip through the book to my bent pages, and then I can reference the underlines on those. So I know it kind of messes up the books, but and I remember my mom reading a book I underlined after me, and she goes, "You underline the most random things." Yeah. So I don't know if Elisha's going to see that.
I think that's a huge reason why I don't underline, is because I'm insecure about the people that are going to read it after me. And you're like, why did that stick out to him?
Why?
Because I've definitely done that,
weirdo.
whether it's books you've read or other books that we've borrowed from people, and I'll see that they've underlined things. I'm like, wonder what they were going through in their life that made that stick out to them.
So I do underline a ton. But that said, if I, since moving out here, I have not listened to a single podcast. I have not watched a single YouTube video. That's just not a form of media I can consume easily out here. And so I've just read, and I've read a ton of books already, and I love it. And it's always been my favorite, but I think I would mix. I didn't realize, okay, if I could do without one thing, or if I could choose one form, I guess, I wouldn't want to do without the books. If I had unlimited podcasts or unlimited radio or YouTube videos or whatever, I'd feel something was missing if the books weren't there.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's my second one.
Good for you. Let's see what to do. So I did my Bible. I did the coffee. I've got some other kind of food type things, so I'll save those for later. I'll do my everyday carry blade here, the Northman from Amtac Blades. Bill Rapier's been on the podcast a couple of times, and this is his knife company. And you've actually bought me 2 of his blades as gifts. And I tell you what, these are good gifts. So this one I carry. This is great because it's a fixed blade, but it goes inside your pocket really well, and the sheath is made for it to go right inside your pocket. It conceals pretty well. It doesn't even really look like it's a fixed blade. And this is just a handy dandy thing. I use this all the time. This is, Bill will talk about having your knife on you that's just for, function around a property, right? Which is how we're using these things this day, and then maybe have another blade on you for fighting or self-defense. And this is definitely the blade on me that I just use for cutting rope, opening boxes, helping, getting fire started. Just setting up the tent yesterday, we were cutting, or the tent when we were putting the rain fly on yesterday. I was using this. So I feel like I use this every day. I love having it on me. And I feel like it's different than even a firearm, because I was wondering, should I put my guns on the list? But what's funny is I feel like they're more, I don't use them, I don't know if it's obvious, but I don't use them every day. I use this blade every day. I use my French press every day. I use, the Bible every day. And guns, I think I love having them on me, and I love having them accessible, but it's almost like insurance or like a savings account, where it's like, oh, we love our emergency savings account, but of course we could live without it. That's the whole point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's not like I'm asking Elisha to borrow his gun to shoot open a Ziploc bag real quick.
No.
Yeah. Or it's like I'll ask to borrow his knife. Maybe not for a Ziploc bag, but, other stuff like that. Actually, it worked out great. We were on a camping trip, and Elisha lost his first knife. Do you remember that? It fell off you. It was in your shorts while you were swimming, and we thought it was gone forever.
Your friend dove and got it.
Yeah, and Jordan, my Navy SEAL friend, she's not a Navy SEAL, but she acted like one. Yeah. She dove off this rock and was just swimming under there forever and not telling anybody, and she found it. But I used the opportunity to figure out which knife Elisha wished he'd gotten, or the upgrade, what he wanted, and he wasn't feeling like he could financially do it, because you bought a lot of tools
that year.
Yeah. Lots of tools. And so
You're right.
I was able to surprise you.
That was fun
My
because this
sister
is
bought it, and then I paid her
good job,
cash
'cause this is
on the black market.
Yeah, it was good. Well done. You've gotten good at doing stuff like that.
Gotten better
Doing the
because
workaround.
Elisha is the access to all the credit card statements and stuff. So you really gotta work around. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad.
That's good. Yeah, because this is the North Bin, and then that's when you got me the Magnus.
Yeah,
I think.
I think. I don't know. I don't know what.
Yeah,
got
I thought
you.
it was gone forever because it was
Yeah.
just like, oh, it's somewhere where I was swimming over there. I'm not going to go
Yeah.
find it. And sure enough, Jordan was determined. That was
So now
impressive.
he's got knives on his knives. You know what's okay? Another story about this was we were in a newlywed game. We were playing a newlywed game with our home group, which we won that year. So just saying, we must talk a lot about what we.
I don't think it was a
each other on
newlywed
the
game. I think it was
podcast.
just a marriage.
It was just okay,
Marriage
but
game.
I've always seen it as the newlywed game, I guess.
Oh.
But it was like the marriage game. We like ask each other questions, or like, what would your spouse say about you? And one of the questions that we got wrong, or I got wrong, I should say, was what would your husband say his favorite tool was? And I'm thinking like hammer, screwdriver, stuff like that. And Elisha put his knife down. And I was like, your knife? And he's like, yeah, it's a tool. We call these tools. So that's when I learned, those are things you call tools.
I don't know. That's just, Bill, the only guy I've listened to when it comes to combatives. That's what he calls them. So I'm like, oh, well, that's what they're called then. Like,
Bill knows.
yeah, bring your tools. I'm like, okay, don't tell me twice.
Voteberg Music Academy is different than other music lessons because the whole family can learn together. So instead of paying for each individual to learn music, which Elisha and I know from past experience can add up to thousands of dollars a month that our parents paid for private music lessons, families are able to learn by instrument. So we love seeing mothers and daughters and fathers and sons and siblings all learn guitar together or all learn piano together for less than $40 a month. So if that sounds like something that you are interested in, we have a coupon code listed in the description box to get you started for 10% off every month that you are a part of the Voteberg Music Academy community.
Okay, my third one would be Neo Life. And I know it's so boring and kind of weird, probably that I put down vitamins, but you could tell I've got the remnants of a cold, maybe can't. And I didn't take, since moving out to the tent, I misplaced a lot of my supplements. I just thought, it's not a big deal. Like, I'll find them, right? And I've been taking these since I was 19. So a lot of supplements. And after, I don't know, a month, I had my first midwife appointment. And she was like, "Okay, your blood pressure is crazy low." She's like, "Have you stopped supplementing?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then I got this sickness, and I'm just like, man, this is not worth not having your vitamins.
Wow.
And again, I do feel like we've been in a season where health, like food, sleep, like not everything's optimized right now, aside from outdoor time,
Yeah.
crushing the time in nature. And so I feel like supplements are very helpful for those times when it's like, I am not choosing to put the energy in other areas of my health. It's such an easy way to put the energy in. And so, anyways, it's something I just hope I never have to live without.
Yes.
Long live Neo Life.
Yeah. Well, once
I'm
again,
really grateful and dependent on that.
new location, new living situation. We need new systems, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to implement systems around supplementation.
And we're getting better. Like
No
new
doubt.
systems every week.
Yeah, I'd say every
We're getting
day.
in a good, more in a flow every single week. So that's a big blessing. Okay, that's my third one.
Okay, great. I'll
What do you
go.
have?
My fourth one. I'm gonna do this hot sauce. Right now it's Tabasco, and this is like a mini bottle because that's the way we're shopping these days out here with the cooler. And I've been on a Tabasco kick. I really rotate between Tapatio, Cholula, and Tabasco, and it's been a solid month that I've probably been on the Tabasco kick, and I've again thoroughly enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, it goes on eggs, it goes on potatoes, it goes on, you name it, vegetables, it goes on, tacos, obviously. It really enhances my quality of life. Katie's cooking more than stands on its own 2 feet. And so I always enjoy Katie's cooking without hot sauce, but I enjoy it even more with my hot sauce.
Okay, this has been like I had no clue we were gonna do that, like bring out hot sauce, but this has been a sticking point in our marriage sometimes when I make a meal for Elisha and he doesn't taste it first and he immediately dunks it in hot sauce.
It's insulting. I apologize.
Well, I'm just like, maybe it was flavorful enough without the hot sauce. You got to give it a chance.
I'm sorry. And I have gotten better at that.
No, you have, yeah.
I always make a point to taste it, enjoy it.
And then go get the hot
comment
sauce.
on it. Well, you bring the hot sauce with
Well,
it.
I've gotten better at bringing it because I'm just kind of like, I made such a big deal out of it. I do want him to know that it's not offending me if he does put it on. Just take a bite first, get the dish without the hot sauce, and then you could put it on.
Yeah. And and I will say, all of my favorite dishes of yours, I don't think I use hot sauce.
You don't.
On.
No.
And I feel like I think I use it on less and less now that I think about it.
Yeah.
If I really think about it and I want you to feel good about yourself, then I do think I use it less and less.
The more I look at you, the more I think about it, and the less I use it. Oh, that's good. Okay, so my fourth item, again, I don't know if these would have been what I would have picked in the house, but these were just like all so clear to me out here, is Bend soap.
That's a good one.
It is just, I would not want to live without Bend soap. And again, I think it's because I'm living without my Pantene. And for the most part, like once a week, I get to use that, real luxury. All my laundry detergent, my cleaners, all my facial cleaners. It's like I'm washing my face in cold water every night, and it's not fun to do a 3-step skincare program. So I just use Bend soap to clean it, and then I put on my like nice high-end moisturizer. But I'm just kind of over the multiple step process. Just get this makeup off or get the dirt off. So anyways, Bend soap for my laundry out here and at the tubs. Clean face. It's our body wash. It's everything out here.
Here,
yeah. Shampoo. Yeah.
It really sparks joy. And that's actually the thing that I thought about with each one of these items is they really do spark joy in me. And Bend soap is certainly one of those. When I go down to the creek every evening to wash up, I put it in my pocket and I head down there and I'm like, I'm so grateful I have this. And it's always sparked joy even before we moved out here. So good choice.
Yeah, I won't use any other bar soap.
Yes.
Like Dove or whatever. It like leaves you like sticky, like you know that sound?
Yes.
That's what it feels like. And for those of you who don't know, Bend soap is my Uncle Dwight and Aunt Marilee's company.
Right.
So they are family. We're super proud of them and what they've done. It's been fun to see them. You know, Uncle Dwight just randomly, they always had a lot of goats. Or as long as I remember, they had a lot of goats that they would milk. But then one time he just decided to make goat milk soap in their back room.
Yeah. Whoa.
I was like, what was that? They had the most bizarre house. Okay, I was trying to figure out if it was a garage or a room or what. Like, I was thinking about that. I'm like, what was that? Yeah, their back room for their son's eczema.
Yeah.
And anyways, it's pretty cool how far they've come and to love the product so much.
Yes.
Anyways, okay.
Okay, so this is one, it's funny because I feel like this one does spark joy, but more so than that, when I can't find it, it sparks panic in me, and that is my reading light. Katie bought me one of these, man, maybe a year into marriage, 2 years into marriage, not... So
Something like that.
I've had a reading light. I think this is like my third or fourth one because the other ones have, they've broke or ran out or whatever, gotten lost. And this is such a light. It's such a game changer for me because I'll go through seasons of having a hard time going right to sleep, and we don't like doing technology in bed. Obviously, out here off grid, we can't really even do technology in bed. And so being able to have an assortment of books next to the bed is a comfort to me. But then, I don't want to wake up the whole tent. And even prior to living in the tent, I didn't want to keep Katie up with a globe ball, in the room. The glow ball was brutal on our marriage.
We had a lamp to the side of our bed, and I don't know why at some point in our life I put this fluorescent, terrible, high lumen light bulb in there. And it was really hard to unscrew, and it's hard to explain, but you couldn't change the light bulb out easily. And I bought multiple light bulbs and they didn't fit. And so I kept it there for way too long. And every time Elisha would turn it on, I'm like, not the glow ball. It's like this big modern ball lamp. Oh, and it's not restful.
So love my reading light. I would estimate that 90% of my reading takes place with my reading light, after everyone's asleep and I'm lying in bed next to Katie. So game changer for me. Can't live without this thing.
Yeah, things you definitely, these are things we definitely don't want to live without, that's for sure.
I'm being dramatic.
Well, yeah, I know, because things, technically, obviously, I could live without all these things.
Right.
But like you said, it's those things that you feel a little panic.
Right.
And I think because of this transition out to the tent, it's I have not been able to find certain things, and you notice which things you're just nah, no big deal.
Yes.
And which things you're no, where is it? I need this item.
Yeah.
And that's been these things so far for me. Okay. I would put, especially since moving out here, but before too, just down. Our down comforter, down jackets, down pillows, just down is something I never want to live without.
Okay.
I know it's ridiculous, but it's
You're wearing down right now.
I am.
Yeah.
I am. I love it so much because it's it just, you're not too hot and not too cold. It moderates the temperature with you. So it's down. I love sleeping down in the tent when it's 75 degrees outside. And then when it drops to really cold in the evenings and it's snowing, the down still feels amazing.
Wow.
Which, it's not snowing in July, but at our house. And same with jackets. I could put this on in the morning. It's sunny outside now and I'm still not sweating. It just,
Wow.
it's a gift. And I noticed that, for the kids that don't have down sleeping bags, I'm heaping blankets on them or taking tons of stuff off. And
Yes.
it's a lot harder to moderate their temperature. So it's something that I would like to have for everybody eventually.
Amen. And in fact, I'll roll right into mine because I actually brought my down pillow. That's what I'm sitting on here.
You're
I was
sitting
going to
on-
save it for the last item because I wanted to enjoy sitting on it this whole time. But I was more specific with which down item, and that is my pillow.
Down? You can't just steal all the down.
Yeah. And so here it is. This is my pillow. This isn't my usual pillowcase.
Nice little pink polka dot one.
But really, it's not about the case. It's about the pillow. And I tell you what, I've gotten so spoiled. I go anywhere. I can go to, people will host us, our parents, anybody, just amazing mattresses, great quilts, down comforters. But I don't have my down pillow. Dude, no, thank you.
You're getting old when you start to travel with your pillow.
Yeah, exactly. We've started doing that, and I'm not ashamed of it. And so, yeah, really grateful for my down pillow. So you can go again, because that was mine.
That was good. Yeah,
Thanks.
I'm glad we both like down.
Yeah, I'm going to sit on this again, actually. Now that I think about
Yeah,
it.
well, these seats are kind of wet. So it's been raining randomly in July, which I'm honestly really grateful that we've had these random rain showers come through, because every time we learn something about how to be more prepared when the rain actually comes for reals.
Yes.
It's and this is the thing, is it takes a while to order stuff and get it. So
Right.
it's
we get a bunch of little practice runs, some trial runs.
Exactly. Where it's okay, we need this item would really make this more efficient. Instead of it's raining this entire week. Well, that'd be very difficult to live in this situation,
Yeah.
raining this entire week. So I'm grateful. Okay, well, that was my 5, right? We're going to do 10 things, but I do have some honorable mentions.
Great.
Okay, one of them is this Buzzaway Extreme. It's deep free insect repellent, and it basically has castor oil, soybean oil, and then just essential oils like peppermint oil, geranium oil, coconut oil, wintergreen oil. You guys don't need all the ingredients. But when we came out here, we told them about the blood bugs, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So they're the invisible bug you do not see. You get bit, and then I'm just looking at my child, and it has blood trickling down. It's like a little
It's terrifying.
vampire
Dude,
bug,
yeah.
and you feel really at the whim of whatever this thing is.
Yes.
And so anyways, I spray this on, but then, I didn't want to spray my children with DEET or something. I was willing to. I have it in the car because I was like, we can't do the blood bug thing.
Mm-hmm.
But we have sprayed the kids with this when they go to bed,
Mm-hmm.
and they do not get a single bed bug bite or bug bite of any kind
Mm-hmm.
all night. And then if I don't spray them with it in the morning, though, the blood bugs come back
Wow.
to bite mid-afternoon. So anyways, I spray them once in the morning, I spray them once at night, and no one gets anything. So I am huge fan of this Quantum Health Buzzaway Extreme.
Nice. That
I'm
sounds
serious.
awesome.
It's like a lifesaver,
Oh,
and I don't
Katie,
feel like I'm
hot-
like giving my kids cancer. Like maybe I am, but it's less than if it was DEET. You know.
That was probably the most, I guess, troubling thing of like the first 3 or 4 nights here.
Yeah.
Because it's like
you
we
felt
were
like a
loving it
really
out here.
bad
You're like,
parent.
what's going on? Where are these coming from? What are these bugs? And so that was a huge relief to both you and I when we were able to solve that problem. And and it doesn't seem like there's any lasting ramifications from those bug bites. You know, they healed very quickly.
Yeah,
And-
Lucy still has some scars on her neck. They're pretty intense.
Yeah.
But I think it depended because they bled so much. It was like they kind of scab. So it was like which kids picked it theirs the most.
Yes.
So, anyways, yeah, would not live without this right now. We'd leave the
Yes.
tent and go to a hotel till we could order some.
Right.
So this is a true wouldn't live without product.
Yes. Amen. Okay, I'll do my last 2 really quick.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I know these are kind of bonus for me too. So that is my Olight. I have one with me all the time. This is the Baton 3. Wow. Okay. I've got a couple other ones of various sizes and lumens. Out here, I always carry a flashlight with me, but out here on the property, boy, we use these all the time because middle of the night bathroom runs, just middle of the night anything.
They're so bright.
Yeah, they are very bright. This one's really little, so it's easy to have with me all of the time. Love this. You know, again, of course I could live without it, but I use it every day. Sparks joy, sparks panic when I can't find one of my flashlights. Like to have them on me. And then the final thing that I'm going to say, and I'm surprised you didn't say this, Katie. Babe.
It's written down.
Is it?
It's written down.
Oh, okay. My Chacos. We've become a Chaco couple. It was Katie went there first. I came home one day, like I think the kids and I were at the lake, and you were at home, and Katie was like, she had like a bandana in her hair, like the dog with her, like her khaki camping shorts and her Chacos. And I'm like, whoa.
And Lionel in a backpack.
Yeah, Lionel in a backpack.
I was like, Elisha, I'm living
whoa.
the van life with our one child.
Yes. I was like, you are such a Chaco girl right now. So then I was inspired. I got myself a pair of Chacos, especially in the summer here. It's just the everyday, all day, footwear. And so huge win on the Chacos.
Yeah, Chacos was something I wrote down as an honorable mention. I wrote it in my top 5 and I switched it out for the down.
Ooh.
But I was just going back and forth because it's like I need to stay warm. But then I busted 2 Target sandals so fast out here. And then I was getting calf cramps. You know, like if you wear flip-flops too long, you'll get like from slipping, like trying to grip them with your toes.
Oh, I don't know if I've experienced
You
that.
haven't?
No.
And then aside from the Chacos, something I really would not like to live without is raw dairy. Like we go without it. And I always am bummed out. And we eat a lot of dairy.
Yep.
It's like raw milk. I just feel so much better when the kids are drinking raw milk in bottles. Raw cheese, just raw dairy is where it's at. Raw
Yeah.
kefir,
I eat so much cheese. I love it all.
I do too.
Okay, I'm going to do one more honorable mention. Just
Okay,
the pink
okay.
hairbrush. The fact is my hair is getting pretty long.
Oh, watch the cord. Come here. Did you bring Mama a daisy? Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You're so sweet. Let's listen
Thanks,
to
Max.
Daddy's pink hairbrush real
Well,
quick, okay?
yeah, this is, okay. This is how my son sees me.
Yeah, he sees you as the man you are.
Yeah, the hair has gone. This actually is probably the longest my hair's been since being married. It was pretty long, right, when we got married? I don't know if it was this long, but certainly since our wedding, I think this is the longest maybe it's ever been in my life. And so having this pink hairbrush, on hand, is a necessity. Because my bedhead, my family's bedhead, the men in our home, in our family, our bedhead is noteworthy.
Vogtbergs are known for their bedhead, but I do think it's because your brothers have all had longish haircuts at certain. Over time, there's always a couple Vogtberg boys with like a little longer hair.
Yeah.
Not like man bun status where it starts to hang limp, but like just long enough where it'll still stick up.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like your hair looks great though. You just like brush it on down. You wake up in the morning and then that pink hairbrush does a wonder.
It does. It's putting in. Yeah, it's working overtime these days. Folks,
Well,
there you
that's
have
what
it.
you think.
Hey, let us know your items, the items that you love having in your home that, of course, you could probably live without. But if you had the choice, you would choose to not live without them. And let us know if we missed any.
Well, Lawrence, is there anything that you love? Do you want to tell anyone on the podcast any of your favorite things? Do you like Gentry? Okay.
All right, folks.
All right.
Thank you all so much. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.